This was the trading centre of Ireland. This is where the traders met. This is where the wheeling and dealing in trade went on.
I am quite hungry, yeah.
Very hungry.
I am, yeah.
Very thirsty for some Fairtrade tea, obviously.
So this is our 9th Fairtrade fortnight, and I think you all agree they keep getting better and better. I look forward to yet another spectacular 2 weeks of fun and frolics around the country, promoting Fairtrade.
Let the swapping begin now.
I think it's growing because despite the recession, there is a trend among all of us really to become much more aware of the world we live in and of where the food that we eat comes from.
Of course, we would sell 100% fair trade in the morning if 100% of the consumers wanted fair trade. So the first big thing is that consumer awareness has to continue to develop so that people will not consider product that is not certified fair trade.
I think it's about communicating to the public, and I do think long term, as Peter mentioned earlier, I think through school kids is the way to do it, because school kids have a huge influence on their parents.
If you go to non-fair trade farms, the working conditions are worse than that one where there is a fair trade scheme.
Once the fair trade scheme comes in, my father could sell coffee to get the money to send me to school.
Also, there is another example, like the financial access we are getting now from the Irish Aid, and it's really been helpful to our farmers. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to get financial access from the local banks. So it's really making a big difference in the lives of our farmers.
I already pitched the idea of fair trade for some serious Irish businessmen.
More and more multinationals sell fair trade products now.
A Dutch butch asking me to invest, that's just too much. I'm going to give it a miss. I'm out.
I have extra socks for him because I saw that he had big holes in his socks. Gavin Duffy, so I thought it's really recession now in Ireland.
The big deal will come when the big companies, the big food companies of the world, agree to start certifying their raw materials. That will be when you will get the mainstream push behind these branded products.
You know, I know from experience that if I'm the banana buyer for a huge multinational grocery company, I just have to make my decision, and millions of my customers will buy fair trade.
The role that I could play in the future might be very minor in comparison to the huge role that the corporate bodies will be playing with the producers, the small producers in Africa and the third world.
We as consumers can make small decisions day to day when we go to the shops, but it's going to take an awful lot of them.
I think we've been able to offer Irish people a good balance between a product that's made in Ireland but also supports fair trade overseas as well.
I think it's fantastic to see the continued interest in fair trade.
I think we got to give ourselves a pat on the back because our fair trade, I'd say against any other country, for such a small country, I think we've done a fantastic job.
Progressively the amount of fair trade that we're buying is increasing, and we need to see that improve even more.
Green and Blacks is also part of Cadbury, and we've recently announced our commitment to go fair trade across the full range on Green and Blacks as well.
And I'm absolutely delighted to announce that Ben & Jerry's have recently announced their commitment to go 100% fair trade across all flavours over the next year and a half.
Are you satisfied with the answers of the business?
We're never happy. And the business people know we're never happy, so we're not going to say we're happy, but certainly we're happier.
I think I'm going to talk to Joe. Joe!
By the way, it's great to be in Hangar 6 at last, isn't it? This used to be a storeroom, as you know, until they put one of our politicians in charge of refurbishing it, and that was John O'Donoghue. That's why it's so ornate and so well done, and they've actually erected a statue to John O'Donoghue over there. My main reason for the couple of minutes is just to say thank you to the producers, to the volunteers in Ireland, and to a lot of you here this morning, people who are actually pushing the fair trade mark and the fair trade brands. And if we are the world, well, then it's up to each one of us to try and make a difference. And fair trade is just a simple, brilliant way of people being able to make a difference. When they go to the supermarket, for the kids to say to the parents, look at the fair trade logo and swap, swap, swap.
I think what businesses and supermarkets need to remember is they don't have any businesses if they don't have us as consumers, and if they don't have the producers providing the products, then they don't have their own businesses. I think the future, the retailers, the people with the greatest responsibility in Ireland need to step up to the plate in the way that some of the companies that we've been working with have have. And we look forward to supermarkets in Ireland making the same kind of commitments as some of the companies have.